What's up, guys? I'm JacobTSuggs, and let's just jump right into it. Today we're talking about The Last Jedi, so I have to warn you, if you have not seen The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, 1, why are you living under a rock? And 2, I would highly recommend checking out those films before coming back and watching this video, because we're gonna have to go into some spoilers. Now, a lot of people are very iffy about the character of Captain Phasma. Some people love Captain Phasma. Some people just think that she looks cool but has nothing to do. And other people think this character is a massive waste of potential that shouldn't even be in the film to begin with. Keep in mind that this is just my opinion, and if you do think differently than I do, I totally get it. I'm not going to even debate you on that. That being said, I have thoughts on Captain Phasma as a character and as a new addition to the Star Wars universe, and to be honest with you, I actually don't think she's that bad. In fact, I feel like she's the Boba Fett of this generation. Now, I made a video on this a long time ago, but I wanted to kind of rekindle my thoughts after The Last Jedi. Saw that film 3 times in the theater. I can understand if you don't like it, but I personally loved it. I have a full review of that linked down in the description below. But that being said, after seeing the movie, I just kind of wanted to redo my thoughts on this video, and I just have more thoughts to share, so to be completely honest with you, I just felt like this was a needed update. But as I previously said, Captain Phasma to me is the Boba Fett of this generation, so what exactly do I mean by that? Well, essentially with Boba Fett, he looks really awesome, and he does a few things here and there. However, the majority of Boba Fett's character comes from us making it up. I mean, when you're a kid and see this character on the screen, you kind of just imagine what he's done and where he's from, and it just becomes more and more awesome in your mind because you don't know much about him. Granted, the prequels explained a little bit about where oh my god, oof. Granted, the prequels did explain a little bit as to where Boba Fett comes from and where he originated from. However, the majority of Boba Fett's character essentially comes from expanded universe stuff, which unfortunately is now non-canon for the most part. However, I feel like the basis for both Boba Fett's character and Captain Phasma's character originate from the concept of the mystery box, something that director J.J. Abrams has mastered to a T. The mystery box is whenever you usually tease or show the audience something minimal, and they kind of just interpret it on their own to see where that takes the story. Now, there's no denying that Captain Phasma looks awesome. Just like Boba Fett, you make up the mystery that is her past, or you can read the expanded universe novels, which I am too lazy to read. What's a book, am I right? And another thing that shows Captain Phasma's authority is her armor. It's just not there to be awesome and a cool design, it's actually there as a matter of importance, as her armor is more advanced than your average stormtrooper or whatever. Plus, there's that one shot in The Last Jedi to where Rose shoots her and the laser reflects off of her armor, which is an insanely awesome shot and shows her authority without directly showing Captain Phasma's authority. She's kind of like Kylo Ren in that regard. Remember the first time that he took off that mask and it was revealed that Kylo Ren wasn't disfigured or disoriented or really didn't need the mask to begin with? That's kind of how Captain Phasma is too. She uses her armor just as much to intimidate as she does for practical reasons, which is something that Kylo Ren does too, and a great way of showing how masks work in the Star Wars universe. It's a concept that I find very interesting, and to see it demonstrated with 2 very different characters that kind of follow the same motives and morality and ideals, it's just really cool to me. I also want to mention that Captain Phasma is skilled enough to use different types of weapons, including a pike in The Last Jedi and her personalized blaster in The Force Awakens. Oh, and she has that pistol too that she tries to kill Rose with, but I don't know what it's called, so I'm just gonna say the pistol that shoots really fast. But perhaps the main reason why Captain Phasma is so important is that she's the perfect catalyst for Finn in both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Essentially, she's the anti-Finn and a perfect foil for his character. There's something in literature and film called a dark mirror, and what that means is basically somebody that looks and sounds or maybe has the same powers as our protagonist, but they're the antagonist of the film and try to do the same thing as the hero but in a different way. And it's perfectly demonstrated here. I mean, Finn fights for the Resistance and Captain Phasma fights for the First Order, yet in many ways they're the same. Think about it, we don't know much about either one. We just kind of are thrust back into this world and we kind of just meet both of them at a distinct part or battle in this universe. In fact, we meet them at the same battle in this universe, so to see how different they really are in just a short matter of time really leaves a lasting impact when you're watching the film and seeing how it plays out. Captain Phasma has shielded her personal looks away from the world and instead decided to look at the war. Now, to contrast, Finn takes off his helmet and his stormtrooper armor in order to get away from that side of the war and become more human. That's what makes the brief encounter that Finn and Phasma have on the Supremacy all the more important. It's not just action for the sake of having a fight, there's a literal purpose here and the stakes feel like they're there. So seeing these two opposites come together and clash is both literally and metaphorically awesome. However, in The Last Jedi, the reason why that fight also matters is because in that fight at the very end, we see that Phasma still has a little bit of who she actually is underneath the mask. Once again, just like Kylo Ren, she uses her appearance as a matter of intimidation, but behind the mask, ultimately, she's still human. Granted, we only see her eye for a brief minute, but that's still enough to know that she's still a person underneath that mask and underneath that armor. Also, quick side note, the armor was totally forged by the Queen's yacht in episode 1, so that's pretty cool too. I don't know, I just felt like mentioning it here. Once again, I guess kind of goes back to authority. This whole trilogy is actually about new characters being thrust into an old familiar world, so to see all of these different characters come together in both new and old ways is really cool to me, and I feel like both the heroes and villains in this saga have a lot to contribute to that. So I feel like Captain Phasma isn't just a great foil and catalyst for Finn, she's just a great character in general that we maybe shouldn't underestimate that much. Granted, if you do want to learn a lot more about her, there are expanded universe novels that are canon that are available now, so I would maybe recommend checking those out, but I personally haven't read them yet, so I have college. It's basically like a full-time job. That being said, what do you think of Captain Phasma? Do you like her? Do you not like her? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always on Frame by Frame, remember the name, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.